The wealthier part is their ability to build a new yacht to their own specification. And when you're that rich, you can have whatever you want. Well, within reason.
We had one client's wife who was wondering whether we'd keep a pony on the boat for her daughter. The idea was to have an exercising turntable at the back of the yacht on the aft deck. But they weren't embarrassed to ask the question. They thought it was a reasonable question to ask.
Well, I think it's fair to say they live in a totally different world. They are increasingly living in a bubble.
And I suppose the ideal lifestyle for a member of the super rich is James Bond crossed with the Bond villain.
We also had a client that wanted to have a shark tank, you know, like a swimming pool but with sharks in it. Well, the swimming pool would be half shark, half human, with a glass wall between the two. Again, I didn't think that would be very kind to the sharks. We also had a client that wanted to have a 3-ton pizza oven on the boat, which was a little bit weighty for a yacht.
Employing specialist naval architects like Ed Dubois or Tim Haywood doesn't come cheap, and that's just the point.
No one needs a yacht. It's the very last thing you need, actually.
If you want to see your money actually just vanishing into thin air, you buy a yacht.
Why not? If you're worth 8 billion, and you spend 300 million in a yacht, it's not a lot of money.
Every super yacht is a one-off creation, designed and built with extraordinary craftsmanship.
I think of them, I hope it's not sacrilegious, I think of them almost as being today's cathedrals. The cathedrals of the Middle Ages were the most sophisticated things on Earth. I think now yachts are.
Amel's shipyard in Holland is where nautical dreams come to life. British yacht designer Tim Haywood has come here to see his latest beer moth take shape.
It is remarkable to see this boat today, having spent the hours drawing it.
The yard here create some fabulous boats. You know, anyone can sit in their studio and sketch all day, but you need a team of thousands of people to turn those drawings into reality.
It's a 66-metre yacht built over 3 tiers, and the price, well, eye-watering.
On average now we talk about kind of €1 million a metre.
Yes, that is indeed around 66 million euros just for the build.
The whole of the outside is hand sanded, the whole thing. You know, the paint job alone for that boat is going to be 2-3 million euros.
And that's just for the outside. For the interior design, he'll spend many millions more to furnish his fantasy.
They want the latest gadget, but they want the things out in films. They want that awful expression, the James Bond factor. They want all those sort of wow things. Unreal life made real.
This is definitely the nerve centre of what is a wonderful party boat, the bar. It's a wonderful area to entertain people. It's got a fantastic view of everywhere around you. It's the crowning glory, I think, of this yacht. So the big TV screen is there. So if you want to have everybody on the big long sofa watching a movie, you can do it like that. On the other hand, if you want to look outside, you can turn the whole thing back again.
So money really does make the world go round. Finally, you're ready to weigh anchor and get showy.
A yacht is for every owner a weapon of show-off.
They want their yacht to be the biggest. And it causes them genuine pain when some other dude's yacht comes in and it's bigger than theirs. They feel they failed, even though they've got an enormous sized yacht.
These boats are, how big do you want it? I mean...
It's a status thing, I think.
I think it's much more sexually driven than that. I think it's all rather silly, but whatever.
There will always be someone else with a bigger yacht than you. I mean, I know there are a couple of fashion billionaires. When their yachts were together in Saint-Tropez, literally the other screamed across the water, "Mine's bigger than yours, mine's bigger than yours." It's a bit of a fight.
Here are the world's current top 5 giga yachts. At number 5, Topaz weighs in around 12,000 tons and stretches 147 meters. At number 4, Al Said, built for the royal family of Oman, measures 155 meters, accommodates 70 passengers and 154 crew members. Dubai, at number 3, was originally commissioned by big-spending Prince Geoffrey of Brunei. In 1996, construction ground to a halt due to lack of funds. 5 years later, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum finished the job in style. It's estimated that Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich's eclipse cost him nearly $1 billion. Rumored to have its own intruder detecting system and anti-paparazzi laser shield, it's just the ticket for a Roman holiday. Once the biggest yacht in the world, it shrank in 2013 when an even bigger fish splashed into the pond. Launched in April 2013, Azam is this year's top of the yachts, and most yacht spotters reckon it's the plaything of the Emir of Abu Dhabi. This 94,000 horsepower vessel travels at more than 30 knots, which makes it not only the longest, but the fastest super yacht in the world. Newly made billionaires have got it bad. Decked out with brand new showpiece toys, they're finally into high society, except it's not necessarily the nirvana of their dreams.
A billionaire spends his whole life trying to accumulate wealth to escape society. And then when he gets there, he spends his whole time trying to re-ingratiate himself back into society.
There is this isolation that billionaires have to endure.
Just because you're super rich doesn't mean the super rich accept you. Because the pecking order amongst the super rich is quite stratified. So on the top of the super rich league are the extremely well-educated, well-spoken, art enthusiastic sophisticates. They do not feel that they are the same as the next super rich guy who owns 3 yachts but can't pull a sentence together.
Your new old money pals don't deem you worthy, so what do? You head back to your trusty friends from the good old days.
I mean, the idea that, you've been invited on someone's yacht, yippee. First of all, you're expected to leave 10% of the cost of the yacht in tips, which, by the way, is more than flying around the world first class. On top of that, the men who come and take the little boat that shuffles you back and forth from the yacht, they expect to be tipped as well. So actually, unless you're very rich, you can't afford to be a guest of someone who's very rich.
I think the unspoken contract between the host and the guest is that the guest is there in some way to entertain the host and the other guests. And you've got to play the game. You've got to be part of the fun and, sing for your supper.
I was once having lunch with a billionaire. He said something very amusing, which was that when you invite friends on your super yacht, they take everything in the room. They basically walked out with the entire contents.
To hell with your friends. You're a billionaire. You don't need them anymore. Plus, you've got this year's ultimate seagoing super toys. First released in 1972, 40 years on, the jet ski is still the undisputed hooligan of the high seas. For the billionaire who thinks he's above it all, well, 6 inches above it all, then the 40-mile-an-hour hoverpod is the only way to fly. Disliked by captains and crew alike, the super slide is every little big kid's dream. Big kids with £130,000 to spare, that is. The billionaire life encapsulated in one fabulous toy, full of ups and